Communication Error.
Welcome to episode 88 of Communication Error, a gaming debate podcast where we may not always agree, but if we listen to what one another has to say, maybe we'll begin to learn each other's I don't know what just happened. Communication error just happened in real time.
Your brain just died.
Yeah, something happened. I don't know. Anyway, the man himself, John Ebo, is gearing up for the Super Bowl, but he's not important right now. We have our guest, Mike Odyssey, who you may know as a famous person that covers leaks, who is going to the Switch 2 preview, who is part of Indie Mania with IGN. Mike Odyssey, how are you doing?
Doing good. I'm not sure about that famous part.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're out there. Yeah.
You're more famous than cheesy, so.
That's very true.
Yeah, man, I try hard. There's a lot going on. Things I was ever since I was a kid, I've been like super hyper, so I always have to be doing something. And then I can do 10 things at the same time. My wife doesn't like it, but I'm paying attention to you too. Don't worry, I'm listening because I'm typing here and then listening to her speak. Can you look at me, please? I'm like, I'm listening and I'm typing.
Just a lot going on.
Oh yeah, I've always been that way, like everywhere. So, but thank you for having me. Thank you, John Ebo and Cheesy and everyone watching or hearing. Appreciate it. Honored to be here.
Yeah. So, tell a little people.
What is wrong with you tonight?
So my CPU had to restart, and then it needed an update. But really, I think it was telling me that I needed a restart and an update. Yeah. So anyway, Mike, tell the people what you do.
I'm a content creator on YouTube. I run Mike Odyssey, Monday through Friday news, basically the topic podcast on Friday nights live. I run the show Indie Mania. It's a yearly show dedicated to indie games, hosted on IGN. This year, we just announced it today as of the recording of this video. The announcement for 2025 went out today. We'll be back with IGN, but this time they invited us to join IGN Summer of Games instead of being part of September. We're gonna on our own little corner. Now we're part of IGN Summer of Games in June. So it's gonna be it means a lot more work to do.
Yeah, but that's amazing.
Congrats. Yeah, that is awesome. I did see Fan Fest. Is that something different? It was a bunch of indie games for.
Yeah, there's multiple little little organizations like ours that do their own little indie game kind of genre thing, right? And I think the indie industry needs it more than anybody else, right? Nintendo Directs, millions of views. Xbox Presents, millions of views. PlayStation's millions of views. By indie games, they're in this little corner, and so Indie Mania is kind of we're trying to make it a thing, right? We've talked to IGN and they see the vision because I've talked to them multiple times. And so that's why they invited us to join. They believe in the show, and we're just trying to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. This year is the first time we have a panel for developers who want to learn how to develop games, how to promote games, and stuff like that. And so eventually, the end goal is to make it an in-person event like E3, but all indie related. So
that's awesome. I saw you had a bunch of great creators involved. I know Thunderstash Gaming. We're good friends with him. He's involved.
Yeah, Thunderstash. Steve. We've been talking about it for a year because last year I wasn't bringing him in, but by the time I got in contact with him or even got to talk to him, we had already started the show. It was already on the way. We were already we were in production. And so I think next year I want to bring you on, and there he is. He's an awesome dude. Very knowledgeable, very cool. The stash, we have to, we have to bring the stash. And so, yeah, it's an honor to have him over, of course, and also Paul Gale, which was really. Paul and I put the show together last year. We both put the show together. We were like calling developers. There was a point where we had just 10 developers. Like one point, I said, Paul, we only got 10 developers. What do we do? Well, if each developer just, they give us 2 trailers, that's 20 trailers. Maybe we could do a show where we can just show 5 now, 5 later. That's how small it began, right? And towards the end, we couldn't show all the trailers. We have over 120 developers. This year we have over 400 developers.
Oh wow,
so, that's amazing! Congrats,
that's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's all for them, man. If you've heard the stories, dude, the stories of these developers who's told, look, you know how many years we've been trying to get into an indie world direct from Nintendo? How many years we've been trying to get into a summer showcase? How many years they've been, like, literally, we had a developer who they've been working on their game over 10 years. They tried 3 or 4 times to get into one of these shows. Our show was the very first time their show, they showed their trailer, plus it went on IGN because of us. Their trailer went on IGN, and so they were extremely excited. And so we have a lot of developers. Yeah, we have the big guys, Way Forward, Big Gaming Tribute, all these great developers just supported us for some reason, right? It's an amazing, and also some of them are friend of Paul's. And yeah, but we kind of want to go down deep and search for those developers who can't really, fend for themselves, who just they're just about to give up. We don't want them to give up, and like that we discover so many incredible games, and that's the goal of Indie Mania, right? Indie Mania, the name is because I'm a fan of WrestleMania.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah.
Is there an indie game that's on your radar right now, like one that's coming out or one that you are currently playing that people need to know about?
Yes. Do you guys like Banjo?
Yeah.
So this game is the next Banjo.
I think I know which one you're gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, what's the title? I can picture it. It's like kind of like 2D, kind of animated.
Yeah,
like Paper Mario-ish, kind of.
It's 3D, 2D, kind of like it's a 3D world, but it's like a 2D kind of character. It's called Ruffy.
Yeah.
Riverside. I've been playing the demo for the past couple of I'll say 2 weeks ago, and that game is incredible. I've only played the demo. That game is nuts. Developer is so humble. He's just so sweet, man. And this, he doesn't know what he has in his hands. It's crazy. I'm like, I cannot wait for this game to get out there and to get in the hands of people because they're gonna go nuts. It truly is like one of those like you feel like you're playing a Mario game. It's that exciting, like you're playing Banjo. Like I don't see that lightly. Mario was my guy. Like my entire office is Mario. And so like, man, this game is gonna be big. It's gonna be big, and we're glad that we featured it on we got a debut trailer on Indie Mania last year, and so yeah, I recommend it. I think the demo is gonna be out soon. There he has I'll send you a link to his Steam page. I think it's gonna be also out on other platforms. I don't have that information just yet, but stay tuned because it's a crazy good game.
Yeah, I think I've seen trailers of it. I know like the character looks like, looks like a bear, right? Like I think it's a bear. It's I've seen that. I think and I'm definitely interested to play it when it comes out. I'm big. I like playing indie games. I like playing them a lot. I mean, I talk about I know Balatro is like a big indie game now, but that's like one of my favorite games. And then I just picked up Tales of Iron 2 this past week, which is like it's a Souls-like, but you're rats, like you're a rat. But the art style is really cool. I think indie games. We did a couple episodes on indie games, and I think that's where you find your really unique gameplay styles, like your really unique art styles. The like mechanics are somewhat different than what you're used to. Like Pepper Grinder, you wouldn't see a mechanic like that in a AAA game with the big, like your whole platforming is just a drill. Like, you won't see stuff like that in AAA gaming, and that's what indie games are awesome. And I'm always on the lookout for like the next big or next fun indie game. It doesn't have to be big. I just like playing small games.
Yeah. And a lot of these games have so much potential, but they don't have the exposure they need. It's like I know about that a little because I'm also a musician. I've been doing music for over 20 years, and so I've had albums out there and everything, but the exposure has never been there. It's all about exposure when it comes to getting your game out there and to And so that's what we want to do. We want to get those games out. We want to. IGN just kind of, they this year they loved the show last year, and they believe in it, and so we want to make sure that we honor that, right? Developers are they're truly ecstatic for this year because now we're in IGN Summer Games. It's like in September, it's good. People are already tired because they went through an entire summer of games, right? And so towards IGN Summer Games, we have Summer Game Fest, right? Which is crazy awesome. IGN Summer Games and Summer Game Fest, they sometimes clash when it comes to their schedules. I hope not this year. I hope they work in a schedule where we can enjoy one and enjoy the other at the same time, right? Or at least time wise, one could be in the afternoon, one could be in the morning. But indie games need a platform, man. And there's a huge announcement that's coming.
Okay.
Right, for Indie Mania. Like it's huge.
All right.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Sneak peek here. Be ready.
Yeah.
Well, you are a new guest to the show, and I think you're gonna like this question. I hope, since your whole thing is, or you're named after Mario Odyssey, right? That's the
That wasn't the official, the original thought behind it, but then it made perfect sense when I chose it. Yeah.
Well, we ask guests every time we have a new guest on, what do you think is the better game, Super Mario World or Super Mario Bros. 3?
Ooh, no, Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Oh wait, are we keeping track of this? Hold on.
That's my favorite game. So Mario 3 is my favorite game. That's why I think I like Mario Wonder so much, because I think it's my newest favorite game since Super Mario Bros. 3.
Okay.
You know? Mario 2 doesn't count. Mario 2 is just like a dream, whatever. And then Mario 3, that's when we first got the map, right? The map and the little, power-ups and all that stuff. So Mario Bros. 3 has a special place in my heart, just because of the kind of game it is, the power-ups. I know we kind of do we fly Mario 2? I don't think we fly Mario 2. It's just like a whole bunch of little gimmicky stuff with
I don't think there's any power-ups in 2, right? They just have their special abilities.
Yeah, Mario 2 was the first game where they separated each player with their own unique abilities, like Luigi jumping higher, Peach gliding.
Mhm.
I guess I heard like, oh yeah, that's Peach gliding because she has a skirt. That's why I heard from one of the developers like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought she just glided. She uses her skirt as if they did that mechanic now, then her skirt will kind of inflate like that, and then she will be gliding like that.
Right.
Yeah. But in Mario 3 was the first time we saw Mario fly, and I love the intricate of finding the little flutes to kind of, get past through levels. It's just such an amazing game, and that was what made me a true Mario fan. I like Mario 1 because I played Mario 1 with my dad. My dad got me an NES when I was, I think, 8, in a box. It was still brand new. It was still the current gen system. And he brought home a box one day. It was an NES with Mario and Duck Hunt. I played the heck out of that. Mario 2 came out. I was confused, like what's going on here? What is it? and then Mario 3 came out. Like, oh, this is Mario. I love it. And so we played hours of that game. Yeah, Mario 3 wins.
Dang, Johnny.
I know. Finally, we're catching up. I think we're still a few behind. But
well, what's the score?
Oh, it's 13. So Super Mario World has 13 votes. Super Mario Bros. 3 has 10. So we're 3 behind.
You are catching up, though.
Listen, but Super Mario 3 laid the ground for Mario World.
I know. That's what I've been trying to tell these people.
Yeah, without 3, there's no world. Without 3, there's no world, because world is just 3 with better graphics and more power-ups.
Yeah.
You know what I find interesting? You talk about the flutes in 3, which I loved. But even like Super Mario 1, 2 has it. World, they have like shortcuts, right? Where you could go from, like in Super Mario Bros. 1, you could go from World 1 to World 4 like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the newer Mario games, any of them, you could do that. I don't know if there's any like warp pipes that that could send you like 3 worlds down the line.
I mean, like Wonder kind of did that, right?
Yeah, Wonder kind of gave you some pipes that will take
Could
you to a
you?
different region. I don't think it's the same though. I don't think we can consider it the same as what Mario 1, Mario 3 did. You know, with the world, Mario Super Mario 1 world had little pipes that took you directly to Bowser.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the
So,
Star World, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't think the newer games have those.
Hmm.
One little fact about, in Mario 3, you see the little flute and
Mm-hmm.
that same flute, it's also in Zelda 1 with the same melody.
Oh, okay.
The same exact flute with the same melody. It takes you from dungeon to dungeon, but it's the same exact flute with the same melody. And so my theory is in the Mario movie, if they ever come do a Smash Bros, that's the flute that's gonna be.
Okay.
Link will probably like blow on and try to go somewhere in the land where Mario is or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do some server maintenance real quick. Johnny, take it away, and then we'll get to our topic at hand.
Yeah, leave some 5-star reviews on Apple and Spotify. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Follow me personally on Johnny Bo everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. The Nintendo Powercast, maybe.
You didn't want to leave that for the end. You wanted to
No,
put that
because
in with the
like
server
not
maintenance?
many people listen till the end. You know they.
Oh, rude.
Smart.
But
All right. Well, Mike, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me at YouTube, at Mike Odyssey. That's easy there, and then on Twitter, X, and Instagram. I'm not too much on Instagram. I'm trying to find a place. I'm trying to find a way to post on Instagram without actually going to Instagram. It's Mike Odyssey YT on X and on Instagram, but YouTube at Mike Odyssey.
And I'm Cheesy. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, CheezyC64, CheezyC 64. Mike, the reason that we brought you on tonight is we are talking about leaks. Johnny and I talked about leaks a couple weeks ago, kind of talking about the Switch 2, but also just in general and how all of this comes about. Like, we know that you cover leaks. We do not. So maybe you can give us a little bit more insight of, how does this happen and should it happen? Should there be a solution? Just all thoughts and any thoughts. But I guess the first thing I'll ask you, as someone who does cover Nintendo, someone who is very excited for Switch 2, someone who is going to the reveal of Switch 2, did the leaks ruin the announcement for you?
Personally, I think the excitement was bigger than the leak. The excitement of it being finally real.
Okay.
Finally, like the reveal itself. Because if you can go back and look at my reaction, I think I have it somewhere in there. I went the day before because I know that Nate the Hate he mentioned that, oh yeah, well, this is happening on the 16th. And so when I was like thinking, hey, Nintendo can't shadow drop a trailer for the next generation system. They just can't do it, right? And so I made a live stream and I said, you know what? I'm gonna call this the Nintendo Switch 2 trailer announcement watch. So we're watching for that announcement to drop, and so we had like 4,000 or 5,000 people watching at the same time. At one point, it got to 7,000 like watching. That's how much the anticipation of that reveal was. And then we stayed live all the way to 9 at night. No announcement. Then the next morning, I'm up at like 6 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, and I'm like, man, should I stream? I should. And at 7 o'clock, I went live, and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna give up hope. I think it might be coming. I started streaming, and an hour later, literally an hour later, it dropped. The trailer dropped, and and I think the excitement of it, the fact that that it was Nintendo officially giving us that information to me as a Nintendo fan, literally, I think it just really took over, and at least for me, I wasn't too ruined with. I didn't. I don't consider okay the looks of it. If it looks exactly like a Nintendo Switch, just bigger, it's like okay, that's not really much. The real things are happening in April. Like the real information is happening in April. As long as no video games leak, as long as no UI information, if we have a new UI, any new gimmick, whatever Nintendo is hiding from us, that is going to convince us that this is not the Switch One, right? Because they have a big job to do, right? They have to convince people. Okay, why should I get this over the Switch if it looks the same? It even has the same name. How are you going to sell this to me? And so I'm of the thought that there's two types of leaks. One ruin things. They ruin one that ruins the fun. The other one, it's more like information rumor wise. To me, the leaks from Mr. Next Handheld are the type that ruin the fun, right? They really don't add to the excitement. Okay, that's if that's it. This is not how I wanted to see it. I didn't want to see it on that dirty table with some crumbs next to it. You know, I didn't want to see the back plate just kind of falling apart. I wanted to see the brand new specking Nintendo Switch in a really high definition trailer by Nintendo with that little awesome music and little effects here, like that presentation.
Yeah.
I worked for Apple for 10 years. And so I was the person who managed the back end of the App Store. Like I'm vending machine guy, but for the App Store, right?
Okay.
The apps and stuff like that. So that's how I describe it. And so with Apple, we always got around the same thing. We got, oh yeah, the phone's gonna look like this. Every year it happens. The phone leaks every single year. It's gonna have this. As long as features and things that don't really, that don't ruin all the fun, as long as the secret sauce doesn't leak, I think that we're safe, right? I'm still not with leaks that show the product itself because I want to hear it from Nintendo's perspective, right? And you know, but as long as they don't leak the secret sauce of it, then I'm for it. I'm okay. I cover it because I'm a Nintendo news channel, and I've always say, hey, look, I will cover the news just because you guys want to hear about it. But if there's anything that I know is going to ruin your fun, like say that the UI leaks, right? A feature inside, like let's say a new me maker, or a new UI, like whatever feature that's big that's in there that will make you happy to see on day one when Nintendo reveals it. If it leaks and I know it's gonna ruin it, I'm not gonna cover it. I'm gonna step back. Okay, I might lose views and subscribers, but I'm not gonna cover those type of leaks. Nate the Hate said this. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's discuss it, right? Rumorville, take it with a grain of salt. This is what Nate the Hate said. Look at his track record. You believe whether you want it or not. And so that's basically my stand on how I stand on leaks.
As someone that covers leaks, can you always tell when it is real or when it's fake?
Yeah, I could say there's a lot of the times we can, once you cover enough of them, you can kind of, okay, that's completely fake. Yeah. There's a lot of them that happen on X that are completely fake, and we as you know, if you're just covering it for the first time, you might not see it right away. But when you cover it a lot of times, and you start seeing the same patterns of those leaks, you know, and by this time I could tell whether they're fake or not. When Nate the Hate said there's something happening on the 16th, the reveal is the 16th. When I heard him say it, I knew it was real. Just the way he was saying it, he had so much confidence, and I talked to him. So I not that I talked to him, but I hear him on his previous leaks, and he normally goes, I heard this from some source, and other sources confirmed that this can happen on this date, and that's how he delivers his information. He basically, not that, I'm gonna tell you that this is happening on this day. He never talks like that. He always says, my sources tell me that they're hearing rumblings of something happening around this time. Just like
I just saw that. I guess this week, there's a rumor of a direct, or in the next couple of weeks, there's a rumor of directs, and I saw that he replied to something. Nate replied to somebody saying, like, do you think there's going to be a direct this week? And he said, I haven't heard anything. But then he like clarified that doesn't mean that I don't know. That doesn't mean there won't be one this week. It's just I haven't heard somebody say that there will be one this week. Essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. So when he said when he went on that podcast, he said the Nintendo Direct will be on the 16th. Just like that. He didn't even say, "Oh, my sources said." No, I know for a fact the Nintendo Direct will be on the 16th. You know, he had the guy has his credibility. You know, he has his stage, he has his people, he has his following, and so once he stated it that way, okay, he whatever source he has is is closely connected and is credible. And then he mentioned, and the weird thing about it is that there's gonna be no games. There no games. How is Nintendo? How is Nintendo not gonna offer any games? Just one game. And I'm like, like, wait a minute, we had no. It was 100% correct. No games, just one game at the end. Of course, Mario Kart 9, which is because it was. Everybody's assuming, and I think it's the case, is because Breath of the Wild was the first game they showed on the trailer back in 2016. This is the first game they show on this trailer. This is the launch title for Nintendo Switch 2. But after a while, you start picking up some things and how to read and then when you deliver your leaks or your rumors, everything is a rumor until it's confirmed, right?
Sure.
You know, when you deliver, you always have to make sure, hey, this is the rumor. Make sure you take it with a grain of salt. I personally believe, this is my personal belief, but you can believe whatever you want, and you always have to give people their assurance. Hey, it's okay if you doubt it. Make sure you can doubt whatever you want in the comments, but hello, as long as you're respectful, we can always disagree, you know. And I always comment to people who disagree, and that's a really good point, you know. And I kind of, some people have actually convinced me and changed my mind at some point. Like, okay, yeah, you are completely right. But as long as you kind of deliver the news, it's like every news, you know. Like we report depending on the source. Like there's some people that you report one time and then you follow them and you see like they just fall off a cliff, and okay, no, let's keep them at a distance and not go back to that source, because you know, I'm not gonna mention that much hunters.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And so, you know, there's a lot of them. You just kind of, you know, there's a lot of other ones that piggyback a lot. And I made a joke on the channel. I have a source that told me this. Like when Nate said that, oh yeah, my source said that too. And then whatever your source said, you know, your source came up when Nate's source came up. Now you have a source. Now everybody has a source. It's easy to piggyback on top of credible people. So that's another thing about leaks. You have to kind of know who is the one that began the leak, and then you trace it back to see who it was. Is it worth covering? No. Sometimes, most of the time, it's not. You know, Switch 2. Everybody wants to hear about Switch 2.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's been crazy. I don't think I've ever seen as many leaks as with the Nintendo Switch 2 ever. Right? It's been crazy.
So this is interesting because I think like our topic a couple weeks ago was like, are leaks ruining gaming? Like, because you just see it so much. And even you as a professional who does cover it, and it sounds like you do it in the correct sense, and, you know, make sure that you're not just covering anything that is out there, just what seems to be reliable.
Yeah.
You are seeing a lot more leaks, like what you were saying, that, you know, there's people that are just clout chasing, and, you know, if they go off of another source, they're going to try to, you know, get that name as well. In your like opinion, are leaks ruining gaming?
It goes back to my first statement. There's two types of leaks, right?
Okay.
There are the rumors, right? The rumors that the system is rumored to have come with 12 gigabytes of RAM instead of 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's rumored to have 8-inch screen. As long as I don't see it,
yeah,
and I can confirm that when Nintendo, you know, the very first time I see it is Nintendo showing me the system and confirming that, oh wow, that was true. That creates the excitement. It's just people talking, right? It's just part of the fun. We are, as fans, we like to guess what we're gonna get next, right? And then we have the rumblings, right? And we like to have conversations around the rumblings, not that they're true, but just for the fun of it, just to create discussion, like what can Nintendo do next, right? But then there are the leaks that they go too far. The Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch OLED from 2023, 24, 2023 was it?
Yeah, it was 2023.
Yeah.
That is a hard one to swallow because they're showing you the system in its entirety, and then Nintendo reveals it, the same exact thing, the same exact system. Feels a little bit like this Nintendo Switch thing. The only thing is that one was worse because we were still in the middle of the Nintendo Switch life, and so we were. Tears of the Kingdom it was huge, right? The most anticipated game in a while, and so anything that relate to that game was just so big and huge. And when that thing was leaked, people were disappointed at the design, and I mean, yeah.
I remember when that happened. It leaked I think it came out in it came out in May. I think it leaked in probably February or something, or January. But then I remember it was Wood beat 'em ups or Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody made a video with the system, and then he came out and said, "Oh no, that wasn't the real system. It was a 3D mock-up." But it turned out to be the real system. Like it was an actual Tears of the Kingdom model. And for me, seeing the Nintendo Switch 2 back in, I don't know, September when the images first leaked, I wasn't surprised when it was revealed. Like when the trailer came out, we already knew pretty much everything that was in there. We knew about the IR sensor in the Joy-Con. We knew about, we knew how it was going to look. So that's why I was disappointed by the time we saw it, because we saw the Nintendo Switch 2 for months before they actually revealed it. So I don't know. I understand why people leak information, because you do get some notoriety and you do get some your 15 minutes of fame, but it does ruin it for just me as a consumer, to see everything before it's out. I'm worried that before this direct that comes out in April, we know everything that's in that direct before April happens, because it's still 2 months away.
It is, yeah.
I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen leaks for the supposed February direct. So
I think people are not too interested in that one.
That's true, because it's supposed to be Switch 1. So, but I'm just worried that the floodgates are going to open for that direct in April, and then we're just going to know it before it's even shown.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And the leaks started coming before. It started coming as descriptions of the system, and then people started making mock-ups of the system. So they started making mock-ups that, based on that mock-up, turned out to be how the system actually looked. So it's crazy how it leaked, because it didn't leak with these images. It leaked with designers taking the description and creating their own. And because it was so similar to the Nintendo Switch, and we now see that it is, it kind of gave us a look at the Nintendo Switch 2 earlier on, right? And then so here comes next handheld. He has the same, he has a system in the hand, right? And he starts showing the images. Not only that, but then also third accessory makers.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I understand somebody out there who leakers, they really have no kind of what do you call that? Like a sense of
they have no skin in the game, really. They don't. They have nothing to lose. But accessory makers, Nintendo could come after them.
They can, yeah. Look at what happened with Genki. They went after Genki. They were supposed to stay in that convention for 2 more days, and they got shut down.
Well,
Like,
then in that point, when they went after them, you're like, oh man, so that means it's real. Like that is the Switch 2.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So I do agree with you, Danibo, that there are leaks that really ruin the fun, and that's it. And I keep saying, look, we don't want to ruin Christmas morning because that's like the best feeling ever. You want to wake up in the morning and see and have like you know be surprised about it, not lose the fun.
Yeah.
And
I
so
don't
that's why,
like I don't blame people for covering leaks. That doesn't. I don't
yeah,
blame the people that are covering leaks at all because that's just human nature. I mean, we want that means the news, right? Like everybody's talking about it. It's hard to avoid talking about it. You're not going to get the internet to just all agree, like, hey, let's
yeah,
not talk about this thing.
Yeah, but I think it is, for me anyway, it's a
You're
bit
being
of a
naive if you think that it's possible because there's no way that's possible.
I know, but what I'm saying is like I just have more of a nostalgic feeling, I guess, where we didn't know everything and things were revealed to us for the first time. Like that is such a magical feeling. And now when you have leaks, it's like, oh, yep.
I mean,
There it is.
even
Like
back,
that
but
was
even back
everything
when
that
back in the day there were leaks. Like even pre-internet there were leaks. Like images of magazines or posters would leak. Like I
sure.
remember that.
the
Yeah.
Game Boy leaked. The Game Boy leaked.
Yeah.
The first Game Boy leaked.
Yeah. So I mean, like I get it. I'm in the camp that like wants to just be surprised by everything, but I know with the internet today, that's just not possible.
Yeah, yeah. This is the thing. I completely agree with you. I see both sides. Because I don't like leaks that ruin the fun. I like hearing about things, right? And kind of assuming whether they're real or not, and kind of this discussing the possibility of what that could mean. Another type of information that is not really considered a leak, but it's kind of like a leak is what I cover on the channel. I cover a lot of patents on the channel. And so,
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because it's I think it's fascinating that like that's all public record,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you could do your research. We actually had Alicia Stella. She does she's on theme park stop. She researches a lot of patents for the theme parks.
Yeah.
And yeah, I see that you do a lot for like the video game patents. Which yeah. So how did you decide to start looking into that?
From the very beginning, like I've always liked investigating stuff. So when the moment I found out that patents were public, I started looking into it. But back from when I was working with Apple, just looking at Apple patents, tech patents, and so when I entered into the content creation world with Nintendo, so I just continued looking for Nintendo patents. A lot of people out there dismiss patents, even though they've seen patents come to pass. Like we talked about all the mechanics for Tears of the Kingdom before the game was out. It was all in patents. They were there. We saw Link kind of go up in the all the mechanics were already there. Nintendo patented them before it was released. If you look at the channel, and I was like, okay, there's gonna be a new Switch OLED coming, an edition. Like, how do you know that? Well, I just saw a patent for a Nintendo Switch OLED, which Nintendo has they don't really have to release it again. Well, they tend to release one before they release a new system in an edition. So it's like if the Tears of the Kingdom edition was coming out, oh yeah, there's a patent before that coming out with the Switch, showing all the mechanics and everything on there. Like, okay, so expect a new one. And for every single patent of a Nintendo Switch, you can see on my channel, oh, there's a new Switch OLED coming soon, or whatever. And then I've always tied it to the next game that's coming out, right? So the Mario one, all the way back to the Pokemon one with the thing is Legends Arceus. And so patents are another way to discuss information. I think more in a legal way, more in a fun way of saying, hey, look what Nintendo's doing behind the scenes. Because not every patent makes it through, but then again, you have to learn how to read a patent. You see a patent and it has this can on it, right?
Yeah.
But you've seen this can before, and the patent can make you think that it's about the can, but it's not. It's about how you open the can. You know what I mean? It's about a feature. It's about something that Nintendo will take out of that one and just completely nor the rest. And so I tell my viewers, the patent is just a way. Patents don't tell the complete story; they tell part of the story. So let's look at this patent. Let's break it down. Let's see here what features are we talking about here. What could be one that can move forward towards a new product? I talked about the Nintendo clock about 2 years before it came out, right? And so it's on the channel. Hey, look, Nintendo's coming out with the clock. I'm like, well, what is this for waking up? And in the clock, it showed Mario going like this, waking up and it's stretching his like that, and then
That's like the picture that they use on the
in the patent, And so Alarmo came up to me, you know what I mean?
So, but when you saw that patent for the first time, did you guess that it was an alarm clock, or like what was your initial guess when you saw it?
It was a picture of an alarm clock.
And so you were just like, "Oh, Nintendo's making an alarm clock."
Yeah, it was a picture of an alarm clock. The image that they had, let me tell you, the initial image they had, I'm pretty sure they have a prototype somewhere, is crazy because Alarmo is the final product, right? But what they first thought about was a device that looks like a phone. You put it on some type of a dock, right? And so you took that with you. You take it with you, and then it tracks your steps, tracks everything. Blah, blah, blah. You bring it back, and you place it there, and it does everything the Alarmo does, right? But then that base also has a projector that is shooting up, and it tells you the time, and it shows you Mario in the sky, in the ceiling.
That would have been pretty cool, actually. Like,
I was gonna say that kind of sounds better than what Alarmo
because I
is.
have an Alarmo. It doesn't do that.
Yeah. So you could see how something from a patent, like the majority of the patent came to pass, right? Some features like that one didn't come through. The form factor didn't come through. But we got the alarm. And it's describing exactly what it does. Tracking your sleep, your movements, all that stuff is in there. And then I remember when I first covered it on the channel. Come on, that's not gonna happen. Nintendo's never gonna come out with the clock. That's just stupid. And the patent is out there because that's something Nintendo thought of and discarded. Like, okay.
I know. Sometimes they probably do file patents to CYA. You know, just to have it out there. If they were to act on it, then they would have the patent on it. And if anybody else were to try to do the thing, they could go after them.
Yeah, and then sometimes that's what they want you to think too.
Yeah.
And sometimes they want you to. Yeah, it looks like a throwaway patent, but you have to really read it really well. Now that we have AI, pointer for you guys if you want to look at patents. Take the patent, give it to AI. Hey, can you just tell me what this is in plain English? It'll tell you exactly what it is. It'll even give you like, okay, this is. It'll even give you what this could be for. Like if you look at my Twitter account, recently. I've been on this back and forth with Nate, Nintendo Prime. He's like, no, Nintendo's not gonna give you that feature that you can stream to your TV from your like a Wii U, bring it back to Nintendo Switch, stream to the dock, right? And so it's been talked about by other people out there, and Nintendo has patents on that, right? They released another patent just recently that describes exactly that, streaming, a way to stream to another device without using Bluetooth, but over the some type of communication. I'm not that techie there, but it's the same exact pattern. Like Nintendo is still working on this. They continue to update this patent. That means that they're not letting it go. That means that it could turn into something good later on. I'm hoping it does, because that opens up the door for people who want that dual screen, right? And DS emulator, you can actually play like that, or if you want to play Wii U games, you can do that as well. Although you can argue maybe you don't really need that second screen that much. Just add everything to a menu, and that's it. But it's cool to see that Nintendo's actually thinking about that, and that's why I like covering it, because that also tells you, hey, Nintendo's working on this. So cool, right? To kind of gives you a behind the scenes look at what Nintendo is doing, without really ruining all the fun.
Yeah. So
Yeah, go ahead, Johnny.
So now that we're on talking about patents, there's that patent out there about the second screen ability, or like
Yes.
adding the second screen to an already
Yeah.
existing device. Do you think that is going to be for the Switch too?
I hope. I really, really hope. I have this vision. This vision of I think. Okay, I think the Nintendo Switch 2 was going to be a very accessory driven system, and it'll have a lot of accessories that'll make game playing video games there a lot more fun. For example, if you want to have that dual screen functionality, and let's say you know how Nintendo NSO they have the all the controllers in that little red box. I can actually picture that little red box, but with the second screen on there, and you can just attach it to the top of the USB port on top, and it'll just kind of stay on top of there. You can play DS games for NSO. They're always selling controllers for NSO. Do you really need them? No, you don't. Can you have them? Yes. It'll make that experience a lot better. That second screen, do you need it? No, you don't. But if you had it, if you want to have that same experience you had with it when you had the Nintendo DS or 3DS, then you can have it. And so I believe, I hope they do. It's out there, right? We'll just have to wait and see.
I think if there's a lot of like accessories that are being added to Switch 2, which is a lot of like what people have said, then they're aiming at more of it being a handheld than a console, because you would have to have those attachments in handheld. If it's in the dock, I mean, those attachments aren't probably going to work.
Yeah. So if you look at both patents, if you look at the streaming to the TV patent, and you look at that one, then it's like it's one. They're giving you both options. If you want to play dual screen, then you have the your Switch in hand, and you're looking at the TV because it's streaming what's here onto the dock. So you have dual screen functionality at home in dock mode. And if you want it on the go, you can just take the screen, attach it, and go. So that's there's always kind of for that feature that if one didn't exist, I would say no, Nintendo's not thinking about it, because I'm like, if you're gonna give that feature of a dual screen, then you have to give it to the person who's also at home, who likes to play on handheld mode, on dock mode, right? And so just because we see those two patents that kind of they pinpoint to the same feature, then I say, okay, Nintendo's working on this, and they're thinking of both people who like to play at home and people who like to play on handheld.
Yeah, so this is the fun stuff, right? This is the fun stuff to talk about. I don't like just what the system looks like. That's not fun. Like I think like we knew what it was we essentially knew what it was gonna be for a long time. So that's not fun. But like speculating on what the additional functionality is and how it's gonna integrate, like I'm really interested to see what that mouse feature is. We know they're gonna use it for something. Don't know what. But yeah, that's what April is going to be. That's why April is exciting. Exactly. So I'm hoping we don't see most of it beforehand. I know there will be stuff that comes out, because there's still stuff that's, rumored right now to be like, we don't even know the power of this thing for sure. Like those are all rumors and speculation.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to power, when it comes to, I think that is part of the fun. Talk about power. How powerful will it be? Will it be able to play current gen games? Right? Will Grand Theft Auto GTA 6 run on it? Right? Will we get those current gen games on Nintendo Switch 2? And if we do, what does that mean for the rest of the industry? You know what I mean? Because that means Nintendo's gonna be literally on top. Not only are we gonna get third party games, the biggest ones, but we're also going to get our first party games, our million sellers, right? And so
plus Xbox, like it's going to be everything.
And
so it's
yeah, and that's fun to talk about. That's fun to speculate. But I agree with you both that I don't see physical leaks as a fun thing. I do see them as they ruin the fun. Once they're out, as a content creator that covers news, if I don't cover that, the channel goes So in a way, I'm like, are you guys obligating me to cover it? And that's one thing that I released a video even before the leaks came out and say, hey, let me tell you something. I want to cover my favorite about talk to you about my favorite controller, right? I want to talk to you about all these accessories. I have a whole bunch of boxes here, but I can't. You know why? Because the algorithm. The algorithm, it has me stuck. And what's the algorithm? You guys. That's why I said you guys. I mean, you guys, all you search for is Nintendo Switch 2 leaks, this and that. Can you try searching for Nintendo Switch accessories, on new upcoming games? And when people search for that, then the algorithm picks you up, and then we can actually talk about something else other than Nintendo Switch 2. And I made this video before the reveal, before the leaks came out, because I was at a point where all we were talking about is Switch 2, and all we could talk, and I'm like, man, I'm just so tired of it. I want to talk about something else. I'm a Nintendo fan, right?
Yeah.
There's other stuff going on. And so yeah, even Switch 2 news channels they get tired.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, is like it just gets to be so much, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't really care what anyone has to say. Like, when Nintendo announces it, that is the official announcement. Like, that is when we can start to like get excited and speculate and theorize. But I can also see it from the leaker like content aspect of it, is like, yeah, you do want to cover these things, and though no, it's not official, you do get to like get excited about this thing and like, what could this feature be, and blah blah blah. I think it's just when it's flat out just like, here it is. Like you said that you worked at Apple.
Yeah.
Did they leak things on purpose? Is that a real thing, or
I mean,
was that always? Yeah.
leaking the companies do leak stuff on purpose sometimes. They do. It does exist. And sometimes it's done to create buzz, but it's never a leak that's going to ruin the surprise. It's always something very small, something like just to get people talking, keep the conversation going. And every big company does that. Every big company has. Sometimes they leak things that are incorrect, just
Really?
yeah, just so they can either divert the conversation or find the leaker.
Yeah, Nintendo did that with
Yeah.
the Star Fox Grand Prix or whatever the heck it was.
Oh,
Metroid.
that's right.
Yeah.
Apple did it a couple of times too, very successfully too. And so, it's like, that's why we say, hey guys, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything. Don't be gullible. Just listen to the information. Think about it. Give it some thought. Everything is worth giving thought to. Just don't really make it everything, right? Just listen to it, and if you don't agree, disagree, it's okay. Be open about it. If you agree, then agree. Yeah, it's okay. But then they'll be disappointed if it doesn't come out the way it is, because remember that's what we call it, a rumor, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you mentioned that only talking about Switch 2 stuff could get old. I do think once like we see the full reveal and the thing's actually out, once it's actually out, we could change what you talk about. Like you talk about accessories for the Switch 2. You talk about the games for the Switch 2. Right now, it's all speculation, and like people might not really, nobody's talking about Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Nobody cares about that right now when you have Switch 2 right around the corner.
Yeah. I mean, especially when it's just like I always joke around and I always exaggerate. Like, this is like the sixth port of that game. It's like what, the third time from Wii to 3DS to So, it's hard to get excited. Although I have to say, it is my first time playing this Donkey Kong, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, I'm enjoying it more than I thought I was, because I didn't play with 3DS. I don't know if you guys knew, but I'm legally blind. So I can't see out of one eye, and I got like 70% in one eye, like on a good day. And so I've never played handheld games. I played handheld games, but before the 90s, before the 90s, like early late 90s, late 2000s. That's when I started losing my sight, and so I just stuck to. That's why I have this huge giant screen TV as my monitor. But having 3DS games come to Switch that's how I play Donkey Kong. This version, and I really enjoyed it. So I downplayed this game, and now,
I mean,
now
it's a
one of my
fantastic
favorite.
game. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I've been playing it. I played a little bit on 3DS,
Mhm.
but I didn't play it fully through because unless I forget, because
Yeah.
I'm like in World 6 now. I'm like, I don't remember playing any of these levels. But it's a fantastic game. It's very challenging, which is not what you usually get from a Nintendo game. I just feel it just sucks that it's 60 and it's the third release of it, because like I want to recommend it, but it's I think it's overpriced, and
Yeah.
you know.
There's two theories I have for that. One, Nintendo is setting the bar, right? It's setting a new bar because future games are going to be a little more expensive, right? And so $60 is the new remake price, the new mid tier price, right? And so anything Mario, anything first party Mario, anything related to Mario, Donkey Kong are in the same universe as Mario, right? So Mario will always be that $60. Princess Peach was $60, right?
Yeah,
Princess Peach,
Yeah.
you know. And so anything Mario related will always be $60. Metro Prime Remaster was $40 because it was Metroid, right? It's not as a high seller as Mario was. So anything within the line Mario or Zelda will always be $60, right?
Pretty sure Mario vs. Donkey Kong was 50.
Was for 49, 50, 49, 99.
Yeah, but
think
that was
so.
still overpriced.
No, I agree.
Should've
That
been
game is
30.
way overpriced. Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean you're right. It's just like if it falls underneath the Mario umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my first theory. The second theory is they just like money.
Oh, you know what? You know what? So tonight, in a few hours, we'll see the financials
Oh yes, for sure.
for is it September through the end of the year? So I'll
Yeah.
be really interested to see how those games sold, like Mario Party Jamboree,
Yeah.
Brothership. We won't know anything about Donkey Kong yet, but I'm interested to see how these later games have sold. Like we know Peach, I don't think sold that well. I think it's maybe 1 million. It might have sold 1 million.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
We'll get updated numbers on Zelda. So I'm interested to see how healthy the Switch is right now.
What do they give their investors though? Because right now all they can say is just wait for the Switch 2 announcement. Like I don't
Well, I
think
think
that's
the investors are happy
great-
because their stock prices are at like an all-time high right now. So like
Yeah.
I think they're pretty happy.
Okay.
But they'll say we have the Switch 2 was announced. We'll have the full reveal in April.
Yeah.
And we have Xenoblade Chronicles coming out
Yep. Yep. There's no game in February.
that we
So-
know of until they shadow drop.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's no game in February, so that gives us hope that we're gonna at least have a shadow drop game. People, hopefully, Metro Prime 2 and 3. I don't think they'll be remastered. I think maybe HD for both of them, or even Wind Waker. I don't see Twilight Princess coming to Switch. I think Twilight Princess will be remaster on Nintendo Switch 2 because it has more potential. They already have an HD version on Wii U, right? And so why just kind of repeat the same thing over and over again when they can give that game a fresh paint? And
But
there
also your theory too, money.
yeah, exactly. Money.
If I want to know if they do Metroid Prime 2 and 3, are they going to charge us $40 each, or are they going to charge us? Is it going to be a bundle pack with 2 and 3, which I think is weird? There's also rumors that Super Mario Galaxy 2 might be in HD. So like,
that's $60 for sure. The Mario Galaxy 2.
that one's
that's
worth $60. I will.
Yeah. Metro Prime 2 and 3, if they combine them, there's gonna be like $70 for both.
No way. There's no way.
I can watch. Yeah, and they have to. They cannot release Metro Prime 4 and just release Metro Prime.
It would be weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think you could, but it probably wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of first-time players from Metro Prime that. What happened after that? Because the story continues in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no, I think it will happen. I think it will happen. I think 2 and 3 will happen.
To like get us back on leaks, I do have a question for you that I don't know if this changes your opinion and how you cover leaks, but what is your thought behind like the Insomniac leak? I'm sorry, the cyber attack, because it was an attack, but then everything was leaked. So then people started talking about it. Like, is that okay to talk about? Is it wrong to talk about it because it wasn't? I mean, that's what a leak is, right?
There was more behind that because to answer the first question, I didn't cover it. I didn't cover it at all. I even put a statement like, listen, if you want to know about this leak or if we want to know about the cyber or whatever attack, I'm not covering it. You can go somewhere else.
Did you
I'm
not cover it just because of the like personal information that was also leaked attached to it? Like if it was just games by itself, is that something that you would have covered?
No. Just because of the morality behind it, they were asking for money, and because they didn't get it, they went ahead and issued they it's like a ransom kind of thing. Those are criminals, right?
Right.
We have people that receive information, and they share that information. We have people who work in warehouses and they take pictures of it and just put it online, right? It's a picture. But when you go to somebody else's computer and you steal their files and files and files of video games, unfinished games, things that are not meant to be seen just yet. And then not only that, but before you leak it, you threaten the company, hey, we have this. If you don't pay us this much money, we're gonna go ahead and leak it. And of course, Insomniac they didn't budge to it, right? And they went ahead and leaked it anyway. That's another level.
And I'm not trying to like put you on the spot or anything.
No,
I'm
of
just
course.
asking questions here.
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to figure out what is the line, because like even if you take a picture of something that's like in a warehouse that is a product that isn't yours, isn't that wrong?
A leak is a leak, and like I said in the beginning, there's like two types of leaks, right?
Sure.
There's the he said, she said. There's a rumor about the specs and how it looks and everything like that, and then there's the image that about the Tears of the Kingdom OLED that leaked out. And I said, listen, that Tears of the Kingdom OLED was bad. It was horrible. I wasn't agreeing with that one. Oh, there's a new OLED coming. Tears of the Kingdom, yeah, awesome. All right, I'd love to hear about it. Hope pass. That if the most credible leaker could say that, and I will take it and I will have fun with it and I'll talk about it. But when it comes to, stealing, stealing data like that, like from computers, hacking, it is just another level, right? It's just another level. It's like me going to the store and taking a picture of something when they're just putting it up, and then taking it home and showing, hey, look what's happening here, and just me going to the store and picking it up and taking it with me, and then tell, hey, guess what? I just took your entire box of these games. Give me so much money, or else I'll just start giving it away. You know what I mean?
So I mean, like the first thing that came to mind was the like Mario artwork for the Mario movie. Like someone took a picture of it from working at McDonald's, and they're like, I'm pretty sure this is what the movie is going to look like.
Yeah, and that's horrible from an employee at McDonald's, because they're not supposed to do that. Right? They normally have NDAs in place for employees who have products, and like there's I think I remember when I went to a Target one time and I say, hey, do you have this game back there? Yeah. He goes, yeah, I do. Can I see it? No. you know what I mean? I'm like,
I guess you don't know until you ask, right?
I'm like, I respect that. I respect it. Thank you for telling me, but I respect the fact that you like, no, because usually you can, hey, here it is. Can I take a picture of it? Yeah, sure. But I respect the fact that, but yeah, that was pretty low. That was pretty low.
Yeah. So we do mention a leaker on this show a lot that Johnny has trouble pronouncing. I also don't know the pronunciation, but Johnny butchers it every time.
It's the red bird.
The red bird. How do you say his name?
The red bird, Pioro.
Yeah,
Pioro.
okay.
Yeah,
I think I
Pioro.
say Pyroro or
Pioro.
something.
Yeah, you say it
Pioro.
weird.
Yeah.
How do you say it, Johnny? How do you say it?
Pyroro.
No, the correct way.
Oh, I already forget.
You already forgot. Yeah. Yes, that didn't last.
Yeah.
Pioro?
Yeah.
Pioro? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Pioro.
Yeah, Pioro.
Pioro. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think he or they, we don't know who that is, but they kind of burned themselves, but now they're trying. Now they're coming back. They're trying to come back.
As a bowl?
That is brave. Because man, all we know from is that this person is from Kyoto, from Japan, you know, and so they have a legitimate source, literally a legitimate source, you know, that gives them the information. And this is the thing about Pioro. Pioro has a really good track record, even till now. Like even till now, with the latest information they've given. Um, the way they leak information is not the way everybody leaks information. They kind of hint.
It's cryptic.
They
Yeah.
leave a cryptic message,
Yeah.
and so and they're trying to make it fun for content creators and for people to kind of guess. Man, is that Wind Waker? No, it's not. Like one time they took the clock, put the alarm on there, and then kind of distorted it a little bit, right? And I'm like, and people are like, oh my god, that's Wind Waker. Like it's not Wind Waker. But
I think they did Endless Ocean. I think everybody thought it was
yeah,
it was GameCube because I think it was a dolphin.
yeah. We like is GameCube coming to NSO? You know.
Yeah,
And
that's fun. And then like when I think by the time it was revealed, like everybody already knew what they meant. But that's fun stuff, like speculation, not just coming out and saying, "Oh, hey, you're gonna see," because I think Mario Wonder got leaked, or they said there was gonna be a new 2D Mario. So
yeah. Before Mario Wonder came out, it was like, they're working on a 2D Mario. I'm like, okay, they're always working on a 2D Mario. They're always working, you know, Nintendo PD. That's all they do, work on Mario. You know, so information like that. Well, Pioro, the way I don't have a problem with the way he does things because it's not like, oh yeah, this is coming and it has this and this and this. He just drops like a hint and lets people figure it out for themselves, and that's basically it. We find out that he's correct after the fact, like, oh, that's what he meant. That's what he meant. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's annoying too. That just when people are like, "Oh, a new Zelda's coming out," it's like, probably, yeah. Like that to me is not like it's. I don't take them serious because obviously there's a new Zelda coming out, but then it's also just kind of annoying that there's a person that is like trying to piggyback off of that and try to be successful. And like, I'm not trying to cut down anyone that makes content around leaks. I just think there needs to be a line, and it sounds like you have kind of figured out what that line is.
Yeah. I don't cover anything that I feel is harmful, like harmful to Nintendo as a fan, because it's a company I love, and I don't want them to be to harm them in any way that could harm them financially and harm their plans. I think leaking information like this Nintendo Switch system was harmful to them in a way, but not as much as releasing more information about it. Just because it looks like a Nintendo Switch, people are like, okay, it looks like a Nintendo Switch. At least we got that out of the way. You know, now let's show you what is different from this, and that's what I'm like Janibo. I'm like, okay, I want nothing at all. And I told my viewers, look, all right, Nintendo Switch confirmed. Don't ask me about any leaks after this because I don't want to know anything else about the system. No UI information, no nothing like that until the system comes out in April. Until the system is revealed in April, because it's gonna be fun to find out what's new about it in April, right? For now, we have a Nintendo Direct in September. That's not a leak. That's not a spoiler. Nintendo has been doing that for the past 10 years. every single like February, there's always been a Nintendo Direct. So when I heard PH Brazil has some type of, I think they have credibility. They were the first one to say Nintendo Switch 2 was delayed to 2025. when we were all expecting it in 2024. There's gonna be a February direct. Duh. there's always a
Well, say
February direct.
they have to fill out their schedule anyway. Like
Yeah.
we know March and that's it. And whenever Switch 2 comes out. But yeah, I agree. I think some of the guesses or leaks are just like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we're gonna have a direct in February. We're gonna have direct in June. Like it's not very not mind blowing stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for April. I You mentioned that like it might have hurt Nintendo to leak that stuff, but I don't know because the Switch 2 was trending all the time,
Yeah.
no matter what, and once the trailer got revealed, like the trailer has a ton of views. Like I don't know how much it hurt them. As a consumer, it was annoying, but for Nintendo, I'm not sure if it matters too much.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't think it did hurt them that much because nothing else past that was leaked. Even the thing is that even Nintendo Switch 2, the name, we started calling it that just literally after we were done with Nintendo Switch Pro. We're like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
like, oh, Switch, it's not Switch Pro. Okay, Switch 2. And so we just kept referring it to Switch 2 without even knowing or even no information coming out that that was going to be the name of the system. So and at the end, Nintendo has saved millions of dollars because of content creators pushing their products and promoting and just kind of hyping and just keeping the crowds at ease. It's like we're the security guards right here, kind of with the crowds, like just kind of keeping the conversation going and interactive. The minute the conversation stops, that's when they're in trouble. Microsoft has that problem. The conversation has died down a lot because they're going everywhere. They're trying to become a third party company instead of becoming Xbox with their first party games, right? And so Nintendo's conversation has always been at peak the entire time, like since Switch Pro. This way, we want a Switch 2, we want an extended system, and so every content creator just keeps talking about it, hyping it up. Your podcast, talk about Nintendo games. Just the Nintendo community has saved a lot of money for Nintendo. Just to the point where all they had to do was just drop this little 2-minute trailer, with no games, just the system, just the physical part, and note that they only showed us what leaked. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
They got it out of the way. Like, okay. This is the system. That's how it looks. Let's keep the conversation going. April is when we're going to talk about what's next. And so, yeah, I don't think it hurt them. I think in a way it benefit them that we were talking about it. We kept the conversation going. We kept the hype and the excitement alive. It did. I do see a level of because I understand both sides of the coin. I love to be surprised, but I do understand about the system or the description of the system that created the mock-ups, which the mock-ups were the real leak. That's the first time we saw the system, right? The system didn't leak. The system hasn't leaked yet. It leaked after after the Switch reveal. That's when next handheld started leaking the colors, right? Oh, just to show, look, this is the real thing. But before that, all he did was describe it. Then we had graphic designers out there that started putting it together, and that's when, it looks like a Switch 8-inch screen. Okay, Joy-Cons look exactly the same, just bigger. You know what I mean? So that's how we got that's how we got to where we are when it comes to the actual system being leaked. If the system were to look any different than it does now, I think that would have been more harmful than it was, right? Because if the Nintendo would have revealed the system, let's say no leaks at all, no Switch 2 leaks whatsoever. We don't know how it looks like, but then this comes up, we would have a lot of people disappointed. Oh man, what? Where's that innovation? Where's that the thing? And we still had that a little bit of that backlash during that first week. But I think that because it came out the way it did, all right, we kind of got people kind of okay. I'm already settled that the next system is going to look exactly like the Switch, same Joy Cons. Hopefully, and then like okay, at least hopefully they hopefully they fixed the Joy Con drift. We don't know that yet until Nintendo talks about that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they fixed it. They were going around and around on
Yeah,
those
right.
joysticks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were. Yeah, I
yeah. I
agree.
guess I never thought about it that way. Is like they were setting people's expectations for it not being disappointing. Like, yeah, this it just looks like a Switch. But if you had people that were already talking about it for months, I guess mate was that planned? There's no way that's planned. I feel like Nintendo's not that kind of company.
Um, Furukawa is a different. I,
Yeah,
I keep saying Furukawa is another
that's true.
he's another beast. I call him the Godfather. He's another beast. You notice that how goes to Twitter and just drops that he drops. Oh yeah, it's backwards compatible. you know,
Yeah,
out of nowhere. And I'm like, how do you say it's backwards compatible without even showing us the system, showing us
yeah,
anything, right? And so Furukawa is a money guy. He's a finance person, right? He's not a creative. All he thinks about is strategies and how to make the company more
huh.
profitable and get the money. You know, and somebody who I can mirror him to is Tim Cook, not Steve Cook, Steve Jobs, Tim Cook from Apple, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Steve Jobs is was a creative. He's like, and then he needed creatives to be around him, and then he kind of let the money. I don't know what I don't want to know anything about the money. I'm here to create, right? And so he left the company in the best hands he could. Finance guy Tim Cook, and what did he do? He turned Apple into the first $1 trillion company, right? Nintendo got into the hands of Furukawa, and what happened since then? We got the Mario movie. We got theme parks. We got theme parks, right? Now we have Nintendo Switch 2. You notice something with the iPhones, right? They all look kind of like the same. they all kind of like they look the
yeah.
same. They have these little tweaks in here, there, right? But it sells like hotcakes, right?
Yeah.
This is what we're getting now. This is what we're getting. The form factor has been perfected. There's no way. There's no need to change it. But there's only improvements you can make. Maybe the Switch 2, Switch 1 will not look like the Switch 10 if they keep the the Switch name. But if you put them side by side next to each other, they might look similar, right? And so Furukawa is a completely different person when it comes to how he sees things. I'm not saying they did leak it, but I wouldn't doubt it if they did, just so that they can get the fact that it's the same system out there. So people are not that surprised. People are not that upset. It keeps the price for the share the share prices steady. It dips a little bit, doesn't go down. It keeps it steady until the reveal. And when the Switch revealed, it dipped a little bit. It dipped a little bit, and then came back up. Okay, and the price, the shareholder price, is based on us, our reaction, what we say about the stuff. It was like this because people were like, "Man, this looks exactly the same. Oh, but it's gonna be more powerful. But it has this. Oh, but they fixed this. It's gonna be a bigger screen. So it's all a strategy that we might not know firsthand, like it's really happening, but there's a big possibility that it is.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of changed my output, I guess, on how I think of the Switch reveal.
Yeah,
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 I think we've noticed them going further away from like the I don't know the
gimmick.
kookiness,
Yeah,
the more creative side of Nintendo, because now we have Furukawa and we also have Doug Bowser on the America side, and he seems more business related or
yeah.
business focused as opposed to Reggie, who was like more creative and he was in the front lines and stuff. But yeah, I mean I think the Switch 2 is a smart business decision. I'll be interested to see how it sells. I think it's going to be fine. It might not do as well as Switch 1, but I think it will sell.
I think it'll exceed Switch One
You think so? Oh my goodness.
Wow.
in less
You
time.
think it's going to break 150 million?
Yep.
That's
Yep. I think so. I think Switch 2 will probably last 10 years. And this is the reason why I think this is because
Johnny didn't like that.
let me tell you why.
Johnny didn't say a thing, but I know him so well that he's like, oh no, I can't
Well,
wait
no,
10
no,
years
it's
for
not.
a
It's
new
not.
console.
It's not that I don't like it being 10 years. Like the console life being 10 years. It's I don't like waiting 10 years for another game.
Yeah.
Like another. I don't want to wait another 10 years for another Mario Kart. I don't want to wait another 10 years for a 3D Mario. Like I'm okay waiting 10 years for the console as long as they have, more iterations.
Yeah.
Of
Well,
the.
so with this one, there's a couple factors going to go into it. Of course, there's the mid-gen refreshes, right? We have for it's the Switch Lite edition one. We have the Switch OLED. First we had the version 2 with a better battery life, better performance. Then we had the Lite. Then we had the OLED. This is the first console where they are relying on something other than just hardware, and you're gonna see this pattern with the PS6 moving forward. This system might make the prior systems. Actually, PS5 Pro has it. They started integrating it, and it's called, you guys know, AI. Okay, and so when you put together a chip, NVIDIA chip with AI, they have their own DLSS, right? And then Nintendo has their own DLSS because there are patents where Nintendo, and there was a really recent patent that Nintendo was working on their own DLSS that they take 540p and turn it into 4K. Crazy, you know? And so the type of DLSS and the type of AI they're working with is one that learns and that they can issue updates over the air that can literally improve how the game looks and performs without touching the hardware, which is insane. And that's the power of AI, the power of AI, AI generators when you generate images. And so what this AI does, it breaks down, like let's say you're a developer, you create a game and the game is meant to run at, right? And that's the highest you want it to run or the highest you made it to run. You put that on the Nintendo Switch 2, and with this technology, it breaks down the software, it breaks down the image, right? And then it replicates the pixel and creates more pixels that weren't there, enhancing the actual image. Just like an AI generator generates out of, it generates, it doesn't make up, it generates out of samples. So it takes samples and adds more samples, increasing the resolution. So your game that you thought was gonna run at 1080p, all of a sudden it's running at 4K on this game at 60 frames per second. Like, what the heck? How did I do that? No, you didn't. It was the AI upscale DLSS and all and the AI within the system. And so I feel the future is more reliant on less hardware and more of a combination of hardware and AI. And so there was an update that was issued to one of the developers that he I think I can't remember, but it was a I think it was last year, where he's like, you have no clue what just happened. Nintendo just gave us an update to the dev kits, right? They issued an update over the air to the dev kit, and they added 4K functionality, and they added an upscale where the games look and run a lot better, like crazy. And it's like, oh, so Nintendo actually can issue updates over the air that make your games look better, right? And so this is possible with AI upscaling. And if Nintendo does release a mid-gen fresh with a more powerful CPU, GPU, right? Developers can still make their games, right? The way they've been making them, but on this other hardware, it'll just run better, and it'll upscale to a higher resolution, look better, run better. And with the power of AI and the combination of hardware. And so that's why I think that if Nintendo releases a system now, right, with this is the base model, this is the LCD model, right? This is the base model. Nintendo releases in 5 years, we get an OLED, but they increase the they just increase the they give us a more just a bit more power, right? So much that it can use that AI and just like a beast of a system, right? Tell me that's not gonna last for 10 more years.
No,
And that's the
I
reason
agree.
why.
I think
Yeah, this is the reason why the Nintendo Switch is also gonna last longer with support because it runs on the same. Well, it runs on the same bed. It's like same Windows, right? Windows on for Xbox. It's like this is the first system that runs on the same system, just like the Wii U from Wii. Same system. Um, that's my theory. I think that's why Nintendo will this system will actually last. I'm saying 10 years. Maybe I'm exaggerating. 9 maybe. This is 8 years for this one, right? It's 8.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying 2 more years. You know what I mean?
No,
And so,
I think you're right because I mean I'm dumb. I don't know much about tech, but I understand the concept of the DLSS and the AI upscaling. Now, Cheesy doesn't understand because he thinks you mean generative AI, but this is different than generative AI. Like they're not producing games using generative AI. It's just using AI to upscale the existing image from
yeah.
like, 720p to 1080 or above.
Yeah. It takes the game and breaks it down in pixels and adds more pixels, generates more pixels within the actual game. And the crazy thing is it does it all. It does it all on the spot as it goes. Which is a little scary. I mean, all they need now is to add an AI assistant to organize your games, to recommend games. Oh no, that would be cool. Like, what game should I play? Oh well, depending on your thing.
Put a Siri, but it's like
What?
it's
Yeah,
Mario.
what would the? I was gonna say, what would the assistant's name be?
It could be Fi.
Oh my God, yeah, Navi, yeah, something
Navi,
like
yeah.
There you go.
yeah.
Any
Oh
of
no,
those.
we need it. And then like every time you turn on the system, hey, listen,
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay, now I want that.
And Nintendo has to watch this podcast. Take notes.
Well, we are like an hour and a half in. I want to thank you for being here. But hold on, I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
That's the way it works on this show. I start and I lose train of thought. Johnny at the end starts talking. He loses his train of thought. It's all part of this show. It's not a mistake. No, Mike Odyssey, thank you so much for being here and giving us a little more insight on, how to cover leaks if you are someone that wants to do that, or, just how to take them at face value, I guess, or to take them with a grain of salt. Just everything that you had to say, I think, was really insightful and also kind of helped me kind of, I guess, have more of a positive outlook, and so much of saying just like, okay, I don't really care until it's like officially announced. I mean, that's how I've always felt, but I also, I guess, got kind of annoyed every time I would see the same thing over and over and somebody talking about it. And it's like, can we just wait? Can we just, but I understand now it's more of like, it can be a community thing where people get involved and speculate and theorize and just have fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, I understand both sides of the coin, and I think to have a community and really, cater to them the right way, you have to understand both sides, and then you have to find a way where you can make both sides happy at the same time. And that's why, when you cover leaks, you need to keep that mentality. If you're starting your channel, don't cover leaks. Just don't do it. I recommend just picking a game, do that, and cover Nintendo in some other way. That's not news. I don't recommend it.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
Do you regret covering Nintendo news or leaks?
It's a yes and a no, right?
Sure.
I started covering products like unboxing and stuff. I just think I should have kept more towards that.
Yeah.
But I can't say I regret it because I love my community in the community.
Where you are today.
Yeah, and so that just opened doors for other things, and
Sure.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, where can people find you? Just as a reminder.
Yeah, at YouTube at Mike Odyssey, and then social media Mike Odyssey YT. Some guy took my Mike Odyssey and then just left.
Oh,
Don't you hate that when you go to the actual email that's the account and it's an
yeah.
abandoned account?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a Elon fan or anything, but I do think that's something that you would think that he would want is like, hey, if you aren't using this account, just give it up. Like, we don't need someone who isn't on the platform anymore to not be on the platform. Like, we need users, so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it should be available.
Yeah.
But anyway, do you have any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts, like Jerry Springer back in the day.
Just like it could be anything.
Jerry.
It's like the guy had like the most horrible show, and it comes to violence, and then all of a sudden you just try to fix it all. Be nice to each other. I'm like, you just had your
Yeah, there's like a Netflix like docu-series right now, and
Yeah.
like I see it pop up every time, and I'm like a little curious, but also I'm like, I don't know if I care that much. But it does sound like it was just a train wreck.
Yeah. My final thoughts is now don't whatever you do in life, don't give up. Don't ever try to, because you never know. Tomorrow might be that day where what you've been fighting for actually comes to fruition. Right. And I'm a witness of that. I'm trying to give up so many times because of my disability. And I did it, and I told myself, like, whenever I made a video and I edited, I said, you know what, never give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. I like Mario, so I said journey on, right? So just keep the journey going. And so I kept saying that to myself, and then I added that to my videos, never give up, journey on at the end. And it's like something that I apply to myself and I tell others because it's true. If you give up today, you never know what tomorrow what might have been, right? And so today, don't give up. Like if you're a YouTuber, your numbers might be low today. They are for everybody, at one point. But if you don't give up, trust me, those numbers will go up. It goes for everything. If you're whether you in your career, in your life, in your relationships, whatever, you're looking for a girl, a boy, whatever. Don't give up. Keep being yourself. Keep pushing forward, and that day will come. That's a guarantee. But if you give up, it's not gonna happen. I can guarantee that if you give up on whatever you're fighting for, it's not gonna happen. Who said that? You miss 100. You miss 100 of the shots you don't take.
Oh, Wayne Gretzky / Michael Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Scott. Yeah, that was my mentor there. Yeah, who love you, who push you forward. People push you forward. So if you're listening and you're a loner or a insider, don't be. Look out to people, because people are like the best gift. I say, because I'm a believer. I'm a man of faith. Best gift God made on this earth, people. And we can rely on each other to push us forward. That's why I created Odyssey. It was gonna be Mike's Odyssey, but people were like, Mike Odyssey. Like, okay, I'll just take the S off, man. And that's how it was born. So yeah, never give up, journey on.
That's lovely, man. Thank you.